Salutations. It's been a minute. It's been a while.
It really has.
Always has been, isn't it? Kevla Kess, Dr. Love. Today's situation. Looking dapper.
Thank you.
Dapper still. Looking fresh to death. Like $1,000,000. There you go, brother. Check you. Fly. Yeah. So, dope. Today's conversation is going to be about indifference.
Yes.
I was trying to put a joke into it, but there's no joke. It's not like a indifference. What's indifference into you? But it's just lame. It's just lame.
What's
Just lame. Like a knock joke, you know. Knock,
Right.
who's there? Indifference.
no, you know, it would be something like knock.
Who's there?
I don't care.
I don't care who. Exactly. So yeah.
Indifference, right? I don't care.
Oh! Well, see? It got me.
Or just not reply. Who's
Yeah.
there?
Knock, who's there? You know?
Oh man, that's funny.
I know. But yeah, so conversation about indifference. What is indifference, sir?
I knew you were gonna say this. Indifference.
What would you say,
Indifference. I describe indifference as a kind of neutrality. Mad shiny boy. That coconut oil is shiny as hell.
What job, mate? What's indifference? Focus.
Literally dazzled my own eyes. So I think of it as a neutrality. So you're not high, you're not low, you're not left, you're not right. You're just in that middle space, and so it's non-reactivity. It's an independence from the environment that you're in. It's not being moved. Really.
Dare I say?
Yes, you dare. Go ahead.
It's about being stoic. Stoicism. It's about being plain. It's about, I say, my perspective of indifference. It's an air of nonchalance.
Yes, absolutely.
So you're not fully nonchalant. It's just, yeah, I'm not bothered. It's just, nah, I'm good. It's just, oh, yeah, I see what you buy, what you're selling. I'm not gonna buy. I'm fine. It's like a, I'm fine where I am situation. It's like a person who wears wood carvings and you are trying to sell them diamonds. I'm good. Because it happened to me. I had someone come and say, oh, I sell gold watches, jewelry, da-da-da. I'm like, it's not me, bro. So I'm quite indifferent to bling bling, to Rolexes, Hublots, diamonds. I couldn't care more less. It's just like that. So I have an indifference to jewelry like that.
The way a friend of mine described it last night, Lucas, he said you have to consent to match someone else's vibration.
You have to consent
to match someone else's vibration. So let's say someone comes to you with an energy or whatever it is. You have a choice whether or not you're affected by that, whether you react to it, whether you connect with it, or whether you stay in your own square, whether you pick up what they're putting down, as John said. Because I had this experience on last week. It was so over the top connected to this subject. I was working with this woman and she was highly emotional and erratic. So she was shouting at just various people, seemed to be arguing with everyone. And then at a certain point she bumped into me and I turned around and rather than apologize, she said, "Oh, there's no space here." That was her way of justifying why she bumped into me, and I just kind of looked at her like, you know that Morpheus was kind of interesting, and then continued, and then we had a few, we had multiple interactions during the course of the evening, but it just escalated more and more because she kept on trying to get a response from me, and but I was really, at that point I was in that energy of just like indifference, and she was getting more and more irate because I wasn't validating her stuff. And long story short, at a certain point I was talking to one of the guys, and he said she was standing sort of glaring at me to the side, looking at me, and he said, I think she likes you.
And listen, she needs some milk.
She needs some milk. And I said to him, you might be right, it might be that whole primary school thing where you like punch the boy that you like or whatever it is.
Oh my gosh.
And so then I started teasing her about that, because at this point she'd been quite rude, and I'd been very controlled. So I said to her, you're not my type. And then she said, what do you mean? And then she tried to get friendly with the guy I was talking to, because she said, you guys were talking about, what were you saying about me? And then the guy said, I was just telling him that I think you like him. And I said, yeah, she likes me, she just hasn't come to terms with it yet, she's still there to express herself. And she flipped out about that. And then there was another interaction, and she went to pick something up, she like brushed me, she was like, don't touch me. I said, what? She I'm supposed to be, I don't know why you're here. Like, she was really trying to start an argument with me.
She needs some milk.
She really does. Like,
I ain't talking about milk.
Badly. No, neither am I. And this is what the other guy said. He was like, you need some love. Like, I even said to her, I said, your man not keeping you happy. What's happening with you? What are you talking about? Your woman's not keeping you happy. But anyway, the last instant when she did the whole, it was hilarious, bro. When she brushed past me, I said, this is why you're single. She lost her mind, bro. She completely lost her mind.
Fighting words, bro.
You don't know my status. She started talking about the people in her village, like my family. It was
too easy.
It was so over the top.
Too easy.
They literally sent her home. They said, yeah, do you know what? Your behaviour is a bit
irrational.
Much. Yeah, because they came around and they said, what is going on with that woman? And I said, I don't know. And then everyone else was like, yeah, she's crazy.
She needs some milk.
She was so pent up, so frustrated, man. Bless her heart. Hope she finds some release.
You know what's funny about that?
Go on.
We had this convo just half an hour ago about being on time, about being early. And I've always said this: when you're early, you set the pace.
Okay.
When you adjust in time, you are catching up everyone else's pace. So you are bouncing off the walls, up and down, and everything. So most of the times these things happen is just because you get to work just in time.
Yeah, or late.
Or late. So you're not settled in. You've come in with your chaotic manner behavior. And I tell this to everybody: when you enter a room, be quiet. Read the room first. If you're going to work, you have to first off get to work early. Read the environment. Acclimatize, relax yourself, chill out. It's not that bad. But yeah, she needs some milk though. She needs some milk.
Oh, she really does. And you just said, reminded me of back in the day when I was completely obsessed with basketball. I was studying Michael Jordan, and one of the things he used to do was he would get to the arena early.
Yes.
Before all the players, and he would stay and he would shoot, and he's visualizing the game ahead. He's seeing it all play out. So he's already played the game. Yes. To the point that when reporters spoke to him, he said he would do what he visualized 80% of the times in games, because he's pictured the whole thing. He's pictured the defender coming. He's pictured getting fouled, adjusting a shot mid-air. Like, he's pictured it all. So he's already done it, and that's how he would play the game. When the game started off, similar to what you said, he wouldn't just go and take over the game. He'd usually start quite slow, because he's kind of reading the flow of the game. It's like gauging what's happening, and he'd score in flow, score here, and then at a certain point he would just go, and just like when he needed to, just take over.
It's crazy.
But yeah, exact same principle as you're talking about.
It's so right. I have a kind of weird perspective when it comes to that kind of thing you're talking about. So, for example, some things are meant to be. Some things have already happened before you even got there. So, example, Michael Jordan in this reality was supposed to be Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
So in this reality, the only person that would have stamped that Michael Jordan-esque situation was himself.
Mm-hmm.
So in the game, there's a way he should have moved to make him legendary. All he did was come in early, recite the moves, unknowingly by the way, recite the moves that he was destined to do.
Mm-hmm.
So when it was game time, all he did was get into the flow state of things, and that was it. So because of him showing up early and putting all this work, flow state kicks in. But if he hadn't done all that, he would have still played the game and done good, but not be legendary status, if that makes sense. It's weird, sounds weird, but it's like what you're doing now you're meant to do. It's not a coincidence. But to do it better, you need to practice in that over and over again to become legendary in that which you do. Legends are not just by mistake or by 5 reps. You've got to put 1,000 into it. This is kind of why I'm saying about that lady was the whole case of getting there on time and getting there late. You're chaotic.
Yeah.
And you don't have the patience to read the room because you've not settled in. So you've come in, not even slightly, not at all. So you're coming with all that vibe outside, and whoever has triggered you or whatever it's on, whatever, it's got you all messed up. So you can't even realize that the people around you are in a good mood, because all you now see is everyone's in a bad mood.
Yeah.
But you are mirroring your energy on everybody else. Or everyone's in a bad mood. No, you're in a bad mood.
And the thing that's interesting is it's the opposite of that indifference when you're in that space, because it puts you in a reactive state when you're behind the 8 ball, trying to catch up and reacting to everything and all over the place. With indifference, what I'm finding is there's a kind of peace with that stoicism of being indifferent, because you've already resolved that whatever happens, you're going to maintain this middle path. You're not going to get too out of control excited, and you're going to get too down or depressed. It's like you're going to deal with things as they come, and you're going to manage it. And it might sound boring, but actually there's a kind of serenity that comes where you're like, well, whatever happens, I'm good. If it goes well, I'm good. If it goes awfully, I'm also good. It's like, it's really liberating, I'm finding. It's really freeing to just be like, oh.
Is that not the same thing that Michael Jordan did? Which is basically what you're saying is you are being proactive. You are practicing your shadow boxing. You're doing all the drills before the real situation, which is you've now assumed every possible scenario.
Yes.
Every possible action has been taken by this person and a reaction, and you go, okay, if this happens, how do I react to it?
Yeah.
This way. If this happens, so what happens is now, by you being proactive, you've now mastered being indifferent.
I was thinking the same thing when you were talking about Michael Jordan. I was making the same connection, because
same thing. It's
like, oh, now he's not allowing himself to be affected by what's happening in the game. He's already imprinted his own intention on it.
Yes.
So rather than this happening, and let's say he gets fouled and he reacts and he gets into an argument, a fight, that's not even going to happen, because he's already seen what the eventualities would be. He knows what he would do. It's like he's played the game before the game's been played, so he's already won.
So how we say is basically one of the ways to learn to be indifferent is to have scenarios in your head, to practice it before time. To practice whatever you're doing before you go and do it, you practice it. Mental reps, exactly. There's a lady I spoke back in the day, very really good manager. What she'd do is like she'd go for interviews, but she would ask herself the FAQs before the interview. So if it's on a Friday, on Wednesday and Thursday, she's gonna go through all her FAQs for the interview before Friday. So come Friday, any question they ask her, she's got like 10 answers already. And because she's practiced on all the answers, anything that comes up that's not in the rota, you can handle it, because it's similar to this, and you can adjust at a quicker race and or pace.
Yes. That whole proactivity.
Mate,
So powerful.
be proactive, not reactive. I say that every day. People don't get it. It's the thing. So I was just saying earlier, when I say and teach things, I emphasize about how big it is. It may seem small to you at the moment, but what I'm saying to you in 10 years' time is still going to be relevant. In 10 years, in 20 years, in 100 years, these things I'm saying are going to be relevant. Be proactive, not reactive.
Bro, I'm seeing it because, you mentioned that right from probably the first one of these we did.
Yeah.
And it's been maybe a year and a half now since the first one.
Almost 2 years now.
And I'm still getting some of those things now. So like, for example, I go to work. I make sure I have everything I need.
Yes.
I have all my equipment. Little things like having a notepad, right? So that if I want to make a list or something, people do stuff with their phone and stuff, whatever. But I think it just looks professional when you've got all your shit together. You got your notepad, you got your pen, you got this, you got that. You're prepared for all different eventualities. I've got some gloves on me here, like I want to do some cleaning stuff, and it's all those little touches which show that you've thought about what you're doing and you're ready, and it shows. Like people notice the difference, and they recognize it and they realize it and they respect it.
There's a power to analog.
There really is.
When you're not digitally dependent, when you can still write things down with your own hands, when you can actually put things down without looking at your phone every 2 minutes, that's power. That's you saying that you are not as addicted as they need you to be. It's the truth.
I'm working on it.
It's an addiction. It is an addiction. I was so impressed yesterday when I sat down with 2 teenagers for about half an hour, and the entire time, none of them touched their phones.
Wow.
Because they were so engrossed in what I was saying.
That's teenagers, yeah?
Teenagers, they wanted to listen to me. Because when they first came in, there was this automatic. The young boy had this stoosh face, like default setting stoosh face. The young girl had a resting bitch face, default setting. It's weird. It's because, how do I put it? A lot of people are not used to interacting with people, just generally. A lot of Londoners don't just talk. You understand? So
especially to strangers.
To strangers. But I'm not a stranger. I'm in my gym, sitting down in my gym. You come into my gym to talk to me. So I'm not a stranger. I'm the owner of a gym. I'm there talking, and then you give me that face. Well, I go, you know what? It's your time. You don't know better. So I sit down. They sit down with me. I start talking to them. No phones. All attention. And
did you ask them to put their phones away?
No, not at all.
Very
not at all. Just talking. Just talking. And the first thing that got them was relatability. I could relate to them, they could relate to me. That was it. There's that generational gap, whereas the older people don't want to know what the younger ones are going through.
Yeah.
The younger ones are frustrated because the older ones don't care, or they feel like no one cares. And I go, nah, I know what you're going through. You're going through this. And I know what it is, because it's just how this town is. It's very, very covert with the way things happen. And I know you've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things, and these have been responses. So I know what you're going through. When I said that, fully focused. They're like, oh, he gets me. That was it. He gets me.
Yeah, when people feel understood, it's just different, isn't it?
Boom. And then I let them talk. They had their say. We're bouncing off each other. No phones, nothing. It's beautiful. They did not want to leave because it was like you're in a desert and you're thirsty and you finally get some water.
There's such a disconnect between these generations, man.
But whose fault is it though? It's everyone's fault. It's everyone's fault. I'm not gonna say it's the school's fault, it's the parents' fault, it's everyone's fault. The first rule of leadership is everything is your fault. So to some degree, some extent, if you want to lead people, you have to go, okay, hold up, this is my fault. Let me fix it.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you do it. This is my fault, let me fix it. Because if you keep saying, oh, it's the government's fault, that's not leadership.
Yeah, you're not taking action or responsibility.
There you go. There you go. But again, when it comes to leadership and fixing things, we can't fix things from an emotional point of view as well. That's why we have to be indifferent.
Yeah.
Be proactive.
It's man, it's really a superpower. I'm realizing more and more. Like, let's say, for example, you're in a challenging, high stress situation, and something needs to be resolved. If you're emotional, you're done, because you're not able to think. You're not able to come up with solutions. You're not able to be creative, because your neocortex, the part of your mind that can do all those things, shuts down once you're at a certain level of emotion. So the ability to step back from all of that, and working in hospitality is real interesting for this, because it's often high pressure. There's a lot of variables. There's people getting emotional. There's stress. There's all this stuff going on. Like, no one's gonna die, but people get into this thing of like, you know, stress is the gap between where you are and where you want to be, and that gap is often there in those situations.
Hold up, pause. Stress is the gap between where you are and where you want to be.
Mm-hmm.
That's dope, bro.
You like that?
Sorry. I had to pause it there.
It's so good.
That's beautiful. I love
So
it.
yeah, oftentimes that's what causes the stress, because let's say you're point A, but you want to be at point B, and the refusal to accept that creates this internal thing. And so I'm often surrounded by people in that space, and sometimes I end up in it because I can see that gap, like we haven't got this equipment, or we haven't got enough time, or there's some sort of variable which isn't ideal. And the ability to kind of step back from it and be just stoic, like you said, and just go, okay, take the emotion out of it, step back, what are the facts? Just what are the facts? What are the objective facts? This is like this is like that, we do have this, we don't have that, we can do this, we can't do that. Now what? From there, you're then able to come up with what's the next logical action? What's the best we can do? Maybe we can't reach 100%, but we can reach 80 or 90 or whatever it is. But it's just such a powerful thing to be in the eye of that storm and be able to go, okay.
Proactive.
Yeah, and proactive, like you said, if you, and this is one of the things I'm realizing right now is why so many places have these issues, is because they're not proactive. Like, I arrive, there's no briefing to explain sometimes what's going on, or the briefing isn't detailed enough. They haven't prepped all of the equipment, like it's half done because maybe they were busy from last night. It's actually being proactive would resolve, I would say, 90-95% of the issues that I see in these places.
Pause.
Wow.
Are we talking about indifference or proactive? Because it's more like an proactive.
We're talking
episode.
about both.
Fair enough.
We're talking about how it's a lot tougher to be indifferent if you're not proactive.
Thanking you.
That's what we're talking about, because if you are proactive, you're so ahead of the game.
Yes.
That you don't have to stress, you don't have to worry. Like, I'm trying to think of an example. All right, here's one. So there's a line from Heat where he says, never be in a situation that you can't walk away from in 30 seconds. And he says to him, okay, so this woman that you're with, like, what if you have to leave her? Like, would you just leave her? Would you just drop things? And he says, that's the discipline. And it sounds mad cold, but this is a guy that's proactive, because he's already worked out that I have to have a mode that works for me because of what I do and how I live. If I'm not proactive, I will get caught in a situation, and I will die. So it sounds extreme.
It's not.
But at the same time, if you have that kind of mentality, and you could take it to a relationship. I remember speaking to a friend once, and I said, you know, what would you do if this happened? Like, what if the woman leaves you, or what if this happened? And he looked at me and he was like, you could tell he was like, I didn't even want to think about that.
Reactive, not
And
proactive.
it's like, interesting. So if that ever happens, you're kind of done because you're not mentally or emotionally prepared. Whereas for me, it sounds cynical, but I'm just like, anything can happen. So there's a part of me that's prepared for almost any eventuality, which I think allows me to be indifferent to a certain degree. It's like I've already, in my head, I've already said, okay, if this happens or that happens or whatever, I'm going to be good. So I'm not sitting here worrying about it. And I can have that, wow. Bro.
So back to the hip situation. Do you think he said that he'd step
Say again?
when he said he'd leave this girl in a heartbeat?
Mm-hmm.
Was that a form of self-policing, self-scolding?
What do you mean when you say self-policing?
Because it was before you came in today. It was what I was having my students. It was that conversation.
Student.
It's a student because I'm teaching. So it was the conversation of learning to keep your word.
Yeah.
Right? And you have to scold yourself. But then when I used the word scold, the student heard it on a negative part. And I go, no, self-scolding does not mean self-insult. It just means hold yourself to a higher standard. And every time you don't deliver, you tell yourself you need to do better. So that's self-policing. So you expect yourself to be of a certain standard because you deliver a certain standard, not because you feel like delivering, because you deliver. So that's what I came back to. It sounds like self-police and self-scolding. Just no, I don't want to do it, but I need to do it. That's the discipline of life. Doing what needs to be done,
you know?
even if you don't like it.
Maybe he was reminding himself of that fact because he knows he's starting to develop a connection to her and everything. Yeah, I think you make a good point there. I think there has to be the reward side when you know, same as that you spoke about punishing and rewarding behavior. I think in the same way you have to acknowledge when you do something well on some level as well.
How would you reward yourself? How do you think one should reward himself?
For me, the main thing I do is I just take a moment to sort of notice it, whether it's speaking to myself or whatever. I just kind of acknowledge it, like, oh, I've made a little progress with that. Like, you know, it depends. I need to work on that a bit more, actually, get more clarity on that.
I would say you need to celebrate your achievements, small or big.
How do you celebrate yours?
I don't. That's what's weird. I say exactly. I say yeah. Do this. I don't do that because
you don't want to get lazy or comfortable. Or
no, I don't celebrate because I'm not where I need to be yet.
But you're never going to be where you need to be because there's always going to be that gap between where you are and where you want to be.
Exactly. Get it? So when I go, I've achieved 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things. I'm like, I want to celebrate, but I'm like, okay, you've achieved 5, you've got 50 left. So what are we celebrating now? You've done a good job, yes, but you can't slack right now. That's my self-policing.
This is what I thought it was. You don't want to slack.
Yeah, you can't slack right now. There's more to be done. Let's go, champ. That's how I work on myself. That's my own self-policing. I'm not done. There's more work to be done. So what am I celebrating? Oh, you did this. Good for you. No problem. Keep going. Take an hour off work. Rest. Awesome. You've earned it.
Yeah, I think it needs to be little things. Like,
no, definitely.
Like not nothing big, because you say that, like you said, that would just derail you.
Yes. It will be the smallest things, like, oh, take an hour off work. Oh, don't shot late today. That's it. No, nothing grandiose. Grandiose moves, they deserve big celebrations.
Do you know what's interesting? Like, I was reading this book about motivation a while back, and it was saying that you have intrinsic motivation, which is, you know, your own internal motivation.
Yes.
And extrinsic, which is
External.
rewards, yeah? And so what they were finding was, in cultures where they used extrinsic rewards, the rewards needed to be small, because if you made the rewards big, people would be more connected to the rewards than the actual thing that they were doing. True. And it ends up having a detrimental effect. And so what you're teaching someone is that rather than doing that thing because it's a good thing to do, you're teaching them to focus on getting this thing. And it's almost like you're trying to get them to do something they don't want to do if you make the reward too big. So what they found work when they studied Kaizen and some of these other ideas and strategies, they found that small rewards, like recognition, but small things like little gifts that were, you know, the value of like £10 or less or something like that. Those are the things that tended to have the most positive impact on motivation, because you're not making it about the reward. The reward's just like a nice little thing. And I think it's a similar principle to what you're saying. Like it's not about these big massive rewards.
It's not. It never is.
They kind of confuse things, I think.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right.
I'll be giving you gold here, you know. Mofos appreciate this.
I actually forgot I was on camera. I'm in the zone.
Yeah, I kind of do most of the time.
I'm in the zone. That's good. That's true. So the reward, all that reward stuff. Now I'm good. I just have small things, because I do so many achievements on a daily basis that there's no.
Oh, you got time for the rewards?
There's no room for rewards. There's no. Oh yeah, let me celebrate now. Nah,
Too busy.
Too busy getting things done. Because on a personal level, I've gone from do one thing every day to do two things every day to
Where you at now?
to do one thing every 3 hours to do one thing every hour.
And these are significant things.
Yeah. Yes. Absolutely.
That's impressive.
It is what it is.
Coming back to Indifference, one of the things I wanted to say was, you know, we live in a time where it's the opposite of indifference, right? Everyone is so reactive. Everyone's in such a, not everyone, but I would say the majority of people are in such a reactive space. So, you know, people get offended by things, people are triggered by things. There's so much of that going on.
Are you saying people are emotionally engaged, not engaged?
People are very emotionally engaged, and there's a detriment to that, because you're giving your power away when you're reacting to things. And so often, I'll give you an example, right? So I'm coming home it's late at night. I did a late shift. It must have been like 3 or 4 in the morning. And there's this couple, and they're having a heated conversation. And so he said to her something like, "Oh, you know, you were talking to that guy, and blah blah blah." And she's like, "No." She goes, "What happened was blah blah blah." But he's got this calm, like passive aggressive tone. To me, it just looks like she's gaslighting him, because he's getting so angry, and you can see that part of her's enjoying it. Right? You can see, because she's got him in that point where like he's now emotionally invested, and she's like, "La la la, puppet master," and she's like, "No, this is what happened,
darling."
And he's like, you can see him, and he's literally like, he's like, "No," but like, because he saw it, right? He saw what he saw. But you're telling me I didn't see it, and you're calm, and it's making me, and I'm watching this, and I'm like, wow, like you have absolutely no power or leverage in this situation.
It's folding like an omelette, bro.
You're done, bro. You're done.
Well
and it's
done.
like you've lost your center. You're not grounded. You're so invested in this shit. And she, you can tell she's just like, it's chilling, like emotionally, Like, oh
You
man,
do realize that,
it
but
was so interesting to watch.
that kind of thing is more like emotionally unavailable. Because from what you said, it sounded like he was hyper emotional and
Yeah.
she had given up, or she's just hanging on because you know what? Yeah, this is the best I can do for now. And basically she's now unavailable emotionally. It's like, no, I'm not done. I'm not gonna argue with you, raise my voice at you. So it's not even indifference. It's just like unavailable.
Well, the thing for me, when I was thinking about the indifference, I was looking at him thinking, if you were indifferent,
Yes.
you'd be in a much better situation right now.
If it was indifferent, it would be a whole different ball game. You'd be like, oh, okay. I think if you were indifferent, that would never happen, that scenario. It would not even happen. It would
It
not,
probably
they would not
wouldn't
even
have
be there.
occurred.
Because if he had seen her with somebody else, he'd have either gone, joined in, have the convo with them, laugh at it, make her look stupid, make them look stupid,
Yeah.
or B, look at it, walk away, and
Yes.
go his own way.
And leave her to it.
Leave her to it.
But either way, he's good. And this is the thing that is, I don't want to use the word invincible, but it does kind of put you in a space which is
bulletproof.
Yeah, you're kind of untouchable when you're operating from that space.
Yes.
Because whatever happens, you're good.
Alright, thank you. See, is that not the problem? Whatever happens, you're good. You cannot be good if you've not made yourself good in the first place.
Elaborate, please, sir.
So, how can I be good whatever happens if I've not made myself a strong, good person in the first place? Because that's what makes me good in being indifferent, is that whatever happens, I'm fine the way I am. I've got this. So, not self-sufficient, but self-love to an extent. Make sense?
It makes perfect sense.
Self-love and your own adequacy.
Yes.
Because it's inadequacy that makes you feel this certain way.
Yes.
Which is, oh no, he has to, she has to, blah, 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 blah. So there needs to be a certain level of adequacy, certain level of self-love, certain level of, not independence. See, people go, I'm independent. That's a red flag. Don't say that. If you want to money, don't say that. I would say not codependence, interdependence. Which is you're fine by yourself, but you are better with somebody else. That makes sense.
Sure.
Which means that if that other person else is not acting right, you will still do fine by yourself. Because independent is literally, I don't need you. If you ever tell somebody I don't need you, you've basically begun the countdown to your breakup. If you ever say to somebody, listen, I'm an independent, blah blah blah, you have begun the 3 to 6 month countdown to your breakup. Legit.
I don't know if I agree with that.
I know you don't. I'm glad you don't. It's good, because women don't know this, but most men don't just break up with you on Monday because I feel like it. They've done the breakup in their head mentally, but then they're like, you know what? Why are you laughing? Why are you laughing?
Because this is relatable. This part. Go on.
Hold it. You see, you're welcome.
Go on.
That's my point. So I was like,
It's like,
now
you don't even know you're finished.
you know. So they've done the breakup already in their head mentally, but they're giving you like 3-month probation. Just watching to see if you're gonna get better, if you're gonna change. Just go like, if I decide to leave you now, are you gonna get better or worse? And then that's what it is, like the 3 to 6 months phase. You're just watching, just seeing if you're gonna be better, do better. That's how you see it. You don't know. And then just because you know I'm done. Fam, he broke up with you 3 months ago on Monday. He didn't even realize it. It's now you're doing that because he has seen and tested every single thing and realized, yeah, nah, she ain't the one. she will never change. And that's what it is. What you were doing last time and now, you will never change. Oh, by the by, apologies. This is a PSA for women. A lot of women have this situation of, oh, when we first met, he loved me, he liked me, he was so interested, and all of a sudden, things have changed. Why is he losing interest now? When they first met you, he liked you a lot. When he got to know who you are, he ran away. That's it. Know who you are as in argumentative, unreasonable, you're not listening, you want to argue, you want to shout. That's your problem. The guy is like, you know what? It's not worth it. Because if you can't give your partner peace, forget it. If you can't, this is for men and women. If you can't give your partner peace, forget it. Done. Apologies, bro.
No, it's okay. It's all good. I was thinking about what you said about the self-love.
Yeah.
And indifference. And,
yes.
You know, when I was looking at that situation with the guy and the girl, you could see how invested he was in the whole thing.
I blame Tom Cruise.
You know, whereas if he was in that space where he's like, you know, I care about you, but
I blame Tom Cruise.
I'm good either way.
I blame Tom Cruise.
Explain yourself.
You complete me.
I'll stop it.
That movie.
Jerry Maguire.
There you go. You complete me. See yourself.
Oh my God.
You forgot about that.
He actually said that line, didn't he?
He did, didn't he?
Ugh, I feel slightly nauseous.
Well, that line itself, you complete me. This is what people don't realize, is that a lot of guys have used that, because think about it, that Jerry Maguire movie, it was this man, successful man, he had his job, he had the perfect job, the perfect life, he met the single mother, loved her, blah blah blah, and even though he was a playboy, he had the cars, the boats, the mansion, the golf cart, the golf club, everything, right? His life was incomplete without her.
A single baby mother.
And you complete me. So today, a lot of guys have their job, have their mansion, have their cars, have everything. See my point?
Go on.
But they don't have self-love. Because all that material wealth is not what completes you. Your self-assessment completes you. Your knowledge of self completes you. Your love of self completes you. But you get the Jerry Maguire problem. Thinking that your love is actually an external locus of control.
Yes.
It's internal.
And you know what's also interesting, to add on to what you just said?
Shoot.
When guys have spent their lives focusing on those things to
Yes.
make that money,
Yes.
a lot of times they haven't done the other stuff.
Thank you.
So they haven't done personal development, they haven't done self-love, they haven't spent time focusing on relationships.
You spent all the time working hard to make that money. I don't blame you for that. You've done a good job. Good job. But you now lack the ability to have the proper human interaction.
I remember one friend of mine, he was super studious and very successful. Like he was making crazy money. But then he hadn't focused on relationships. So he kind of, you know, met a few girls here and there, but he hadn't really had relationships. And then I think in his 30s,
Same thing.
same thing.
Sorry, just in the same situation. Emotional man, not emotional woman.
Yeah, she's trying to.
It's like, no, you must love me now. Love me.
Man.
Sure.
But yeah, when he got like his first sort of serious girlfriend, I remember talking to him, and he was saying things to me like, "Oh, she's never happy. I don't understand what's going on." and like, because I was in relationships all through my 20s, so like at this point we're in our 30s, and I'm like, "Oh man, you're kind of starting now," and he didn't understand, like, you know, why he couldn't make her happy, and he was like,
sugar.
she'll talk, and I'm listening to her, but then when I tell her what to do, she doesn't want to hear that. It's like she just wants me to sit and listen. And it was like, oh wow, like you haven't learned to, like basic stuff, bro. Basic stuff. And so he had all this money and all this intellect, but like emotionally, his emotional intelligence was like.
Thank you. Because that EI was off.
I was off.
Yes.
I was thinking, oh man,
You were not emotionally
you got a
intelligent.
steep learning curve, bro.
Listen, as a Nigerian,
And you're a target too because you got all this money. Oh man.
As a Nigerian, we're built different. We're like, you're on your own. Just leave me. You what? You want to cry? Go and cry in your corner. When you finish crying, talk to me. Simple. These guys, please. She's not.
Finished.
As Nigerian, like, you're not happy. That's your problem. Me, I'm happy. I love myself. You're not happy. That's your problem. See your life.
I think I got a bit of Nigerian in
Bro,
me.
I love being Nigerian. Oh my gosh. You're crying because I said, cry. I have tissue. Take. Cry, finish. See your life. Are you finished?
That's like the voices in my head.
Are you done?
Man, that's
Legit.
so hilarious.
Legit. It's like, nah. Are you done? You done crying now? Yeah, finish crying. And then what?
The crying thing never works on me.
Nah, bro. Don't play on me. You want to cry? Cry. I will cry for you. I can't cry, but I will help you and cry. Take tissue. I have wipes. You finish. Now we'll continue. That never works in me. The crying thing, the I'm not happy thing. I'm like, me, I'm happy. You. I don't know why you're not happy. Me, I'm happy.
The whole myth of like it's your job to make someone else happy.
It's not your job.
So dumb when you think about it. Because it's an internal. It's an internal thing. Like, why would I be responsible for your internal state?
Yeah, I'm not happy. Okay, take 3 books: the Bible, the Quran, the Torah. Read them. If you finish reading them, if you're not happy, come and talk to me. I can't help you. That's your own problem. You need therapy. That's some girls, same thing. Oh, blah blah blah. This girl, basically this young lady I met has a habit of whenever she sees you, tries to dig and like trying to pick things at you. Oh, trying to find your imperfections.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's just because it makes sense because when a person sees you and that's the first thing they do is because they don't
like themselves.
They have a self-dislike and they're very bitter, but they've not had that combo with themselves. Yeah. So the first thing they do is take it on you. But me, I know it. I'm like, okay, you're cute. You're not that cute, but you're cute. I see what you're doing. You're doing this doesn't work on me. Yes, it doesn't work on me at all. And I go, you're miserable.
Projection.
You're sad. You're miserable. Oh, Cass, you're what's the word to use? Unhinged. I don't care. I don't care. You're miserable. I say, here's what. Because you're pretty, you have the assumption. Because you're pretty, a lot of men, all the guys are trying to kiss ass with you.
Yeah,
because oh my gosh,
so you can talk all this nonsense.
Because one day they hope they have sex with you. Me, I don't want sex from you. I don't want anything from you at all. That's why I'll tell you the truth. Oh, Cass, you're horrible. I know. You can't do anything to me. Yeah, not legit. As in, what can you do? The most you can do is unfuck me harder. That's it. Cause that's it. Not fuck me harder. That's it. Like, what? The end.
Yeah.
Indifference.
That real indifference there.
But that indifference comes from self-love.
Yeah.
That's so one cannot just be indifferent like that. You need to love yourself, accept yourself, appreciate yourself, be on your constant growth of self before that level of indifference kicks in. It does not just happen because today is Tuesday. We have to develop that level of indifference. We have to grow it. You have to train it. You have to grow it. You have to keep doing it and doing it over and over again. That's how it happens.
I agree with this. I really agree with this because this, for me, is evolving quite naturally. But then I've spent a lot of time doing all that stuff, like building acceptance, building. Do you know what I mean? Just learning to like myself and appreciate myself and see the whole picture. Right? This is my strengths. This is my weakness. Okay. See the whole thing, not lying or being dishonest, like realizing where I'm at and accepting where I'm at. And you're right, it does take a lot of self-love because you're gonna stand apart when you're indifferent.
Yes.
Like that's what it is. You're not trying to fit in. You're not trying to please. Some people are going to get pissed off with you at
They can't
certain
accept it.
situations, similar to what that girl would say to you. If you didn't have that self-image and that self-love, you'd have felt some type of way when she's saying all these things. Oh,
Absolutely.
you're horrible. You're this. You're that.
And I've gone, oh my gosh, mirror, mirror on the wall.
Yeah.
Am I horrible?
You start having an existential crisis. You know what I'm saying? Whereas now it's like someone calls me an asshole or whatever, and I just I smile like.
I've got down. I said, oh, Kes, you're an asshole. No. I'm a big asshole. Focus. I get it right. So you can't insult me. I will out insult me first before you try me. Don't try it. Kes, you're horrible. I know. That's why I do what I do. I'm not here to be nice. I'm here to be necessary. If you find me horrible, you deserved it.
Yeah, nice doesn't get it done, man.
That's what you get.
I like that. So being proactive is a key element in indifference.
Self-love is also one.
Self-love is a big one as well.
Dude, self-love is a big one. If you can't love yourself, you can't be indifferent. Because that comes from your self-acceptance, your knowledge of where you are, and your realistic understanding of where you need to be. And you're now going your own path. And everything from there is like, nah, I don't need that. Nah, I'm good. I don't need that. So you're quite indifferent because most things that happen around you is just white noise.
It really is, man.
There's no focus to most things. It's just noise.
It's just stuff.
It's just stuff and things. It's not heavy. It's just way.
Most of it's just unimportant. It's just
legit. That's it. It ain't shit.
The power of indifference.
Brother man? Anything else?
No, I was going to ask you, anything else you want to add? I mean, I think, I mentioned this before, but I think particularly for men, because we're speaking to men, I think that ability to step back. I heard Jocko Willink, ex-Navy SEAL, he's got podcasts and stuff. He was talking about his first experience where he was on a training exercise and they were all Navy SEALs was sitting with like their weapons like sighted. So everyone had that view of what was happening, and at a certain point during the training exercise he realized that something was off, and but no one else was taking any action. So he said he put his weapon down and he just took a physical step back, and when he did and looked around and surveyed the terrain, he realized what they needed to do, and he just gave an order. He said, okay, hang right, blah blah blah, The order was repeated and they all did it, and then later on they gave him a ton of credit because they're like, that was a great order. And that action of just stepping back so you've got more perspective to see things applies to so many different things.
Yes.
When you're in the heat of a situation, it's very easy to just go with the energy of whatever is happening, but that ability to like mentally kind of stop and kind of pull back, get a different perspective on it, and then choose what you're going to do rather than just reacting is very, very powerful. So I'll end by sharing that little metaphor. Emotionally detach.
Yeah.
This is stuff I'm working on myself, man. Like, it's powerful.
That's all right, Governor. That's all right. Well, on that note, I've been Kevlar Kiss. It's been Dr. Love. Looking dapper. I like that. It's very good. You stay awesome, blessed, and highly favored. It's been emotional.
Love.
Peace. Simple.